look at it and see whether or not we enjoyed it or we liked it, and see what we also could do to make it better.
As principal photography progresses, large format 70mm footage will be edited into the animatic in place of the video test footage. In this way, the animatic will slowly evolve into the actual movie ride. Every new foot of film will be screened daily to ensure that the images will be seen correctly on the domed screen being built 6,000 miles away in Korea. As the Star Quest storyline is refined with the animatic, David Goldberg and his team in the Dream Quest model shop meticulously handcraft vehicles, miniature buildings, and 1,000 square feet of lunar landscape. For these model makers, the fisheye lens poses unique problems.
The lens tends to distort the pieces, so we have to watch out that we don't have too many straight lines because they tend to be distorted on the screen.
At every step of the complex creative process, this project presents rarely encountered challenges. That's the excitement and frustration of producing movie rides.
Okay, pilot, I've set the coordinates for our first twister jump. Follow me!
The first movie rides were actually military flight simulators with self-contained hydraulic systems. They were originally developed to give pilots crucial combat training.
Frame is right there at my fingertip. The lens is seeing right out.
Douglas Trumbull was the first Hollywood filmmaker to explore the possibilities of combining motion simulators with motion pictures. Trumbull initially gained recognition for highly respected special effects in 2001: A Space Odyssey, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and Blade Runner. In 1976, he founded ShowScan and began producing film experiences that were the predecessors to movie rides. 8 years later, Trumbull created the first public movie ride. Tour of the Universe was produced by interactive simulation for the CN Tower in Toronto, Canada. It took audiences on a 9-minute journey to Jupiter and back.
No one had ever done that configuration in a flight simulator, a fixed screen, a fixed projector, but moving cars. And we immediately found out you had to start shifting the horizon and doing all kinds of weird camera moves in order to fool the audience's sensory mechanisms in a way that's totally different from flight simulators.
Different because movie rides took viewers on a much more dramatic ride, with believable movements, twists, and turns. Special effects artists worked hand in hand with simulator programmers to give audiences highly synchronized and carefully orchestrated entertainment.
Gateway control 5762.
Launch commencing in 3, 2, 1.
I have a few things to show you. Here at the Institute for Future Technology, we made some of the most amazing technological advances the world has ever seen.
For Universal's Back to the Future movie ride, Douglas Trumbull continued to advance the ride film experience, incorporating computer-controlled DeLoreans, 11 channels of sound, and a revolutionary 80-foot domed screen. Trumbull's effects team is able to take audiences on an amazing chase through time.
You are inside the movie. You are one of the players in the movie. You feel it, you smell it, you sense it. And those characters on the screen are no longer chasing each other, talking to each other, killing each other. They're killing you, or talking to you, or chasing you. And it's a whole new dramatic relationship.
Today, the makers of Star Quest Adventure are attempting to take movie ride technology one step further, incorporating live-action photography with more computer graphic imagery. As production designer, John Ferret interprets Landmark's design for the camera.
That's it.
You can do storyboards all day long and drawings and paintings, and yet until you finally shoot something or paint something and then project that within the dome, you really have no idea what it's going to look like, where the horizon line is going to be.
To help them determine the correct horizon line, the place where audiences will see images most comfortably, the filmmakers used a special template that fit over a regular television monitor.
This format here allows us to see where images go on the dome. In other words, we can tell what's in the center or the top or the sides. It just helps us plan the shot from a compositional standpoint.
For Dream Quest line producer Dennis Hoffman, compensating for the domed screen and fisheye lens is a constant challenge.
That fisheye lens produces the problem of basically showing the world through the camera. We have a 160-degree field of view. What ends up then happening is you have no place to put lights, because if your camera sees everything, it's going to see the lights.
To help mask the lights, filmmakers devised a special flap that concealed lights from the camera lens.
Okay, camera's moving. Everybody watch your backs. This is a high-speed, turbulent ride. No pregnant mothers.
A computer controls the camera to execute precise pre-programmed moves. This motion control system allows filmmakers to match other elements being created for the movie by computer-generated imagery.
The great thing about motion control is that it's information that you can give to both the computer graphics people and the people creating the miniatures. And they have the same information to create the image so that later, when they take these two images, they put them together and they match seamlessly.
Academy Award-winning Metrolight Studios tackles the computer effects. Metrolight's work in Total Recall and numerous commercials established its reputation as a leader in the highly sophisticated world of computer-generated imagery, or CGI. With advanced hardware systems such as high-tech silicon graphic computers, Metrolight is attempting to create images that are impractical or even impossible to shoot on film.
Can shoot something live, you should. It's probably going to be more effective, it's going to be less expensive and take less time. But so many things are not possible in reality. They have lots of limitations that we have to deal with in real life that we don't have to deal with in the computer.
Creating a CGI scene of the StarQuest spaceship flying through an ocean of dolphins and whales is a three-step process. The images start out as wireframes, which allow artists to establish basic shapes and movement. Next is the modeling stage, a painstaking process where the shapes get color, texture, and lighting. Finally, the dolphins and whales are animated, given the subtle movements that make them appear lifelike. The 7,000 individual frames of CGI film were the responsibility of Metrolight creative director John Townley.
Just one frame in certain instances would take up to 18 hours to render. That was a pretty dramatic number when you think in terms of that frame going by you in a 30th of a second. One of the challenges of the job was how long it actually took to create pictures of this high level of resolution and technical achievement.
Complex technical problems arose in the prehistoric dinosaur scene. Artists needed a highly sophisticated math solution to get the creature to chew leaves correctly.
We're combining two kinds of software. The stuff that's closest to his mouth has to be married to what his mouth is doing. So that's interpolating geometry. We've got to actually interpolating backwards. It needs to actually, when he bites down, it needs to sort of kick up, and we've got him doing the opposite.
During every step of StarQuest adventure, each shot is tested and retested on the domed screen. The producers work hard to assure that the scene where the spaceship falls through a black hole is perfectly believable.
We're going in that black hole?
Yeah.
It starts to, we're resisting, right?
Yes.
Do we actually back up first before we resist?
We have a thing where we go back. This is the first version you ever saw. The new ones that we have, which we'll be cutting in, goes over the edge. You start going like this. He's backing up. We start losing it, start going around the corner. Okay. More stuff comes in.
Great. What I want to feel is, when he says reverse thrusters, I want to feel it starting to go out before. So we're doing down, and reverse thrusters full. We go, we start to pull out, and then it starts, you know, then it starts shaking. We're not making it. We're not making anything, and then we go, right?
Okay.
The gravitational pull is too strong. Commander, we're going in.
The motion base on which the viewers are seated is as important to this movie ride as the images on the screen. The computerized motion base is programmed by Trey Stokes, who matches it with the screen action.
We take this base and program movements into the base based on what the film is. So we just try and match as much as we can the dives and turns and twists and accidents that happen. We bump into a lot of stuff in this particular ride.
The hydraulic platform tilts forward, backward, and side to side. It simulates high-speed travel. In fact, the rumbling moves are equivalent to an 8.0 earthquake. Trey first gets the moves he wants by hand. Then he transfers those moves to computerized controls.
Manually, I couldn't say that move should be 2 frames sooner. On the graph, I can do that. I can take the move that I have that feels right, but is just not quite in the right place, and just shift it.
Our concern is if we put too much motion on the film, it's going to create a very sick audience. So we're going to pull back, if you will, on the motion on the screen and supplement it with the motion base.
Back and forth testing continues as the creative team solves problems and makes changes.
The other great thing that we can add, which is not so much side to side, is the turbulence. It's, you know, one of these things.
As each scene is shot and refined, the film is edited into the animatic and housed in this large, elaborate, dust-free case called a loop cabinet. The loop cabinet allows movie makers to view their work in progress over and over again without rewinding and possibly damaging the film.
This is a color move test of the moon base, coming out of the launch tube and flying around. It's really dealing with just the key light issues. It doesn't have any of the architectural lights that need to be done, but it gives us a good idea of, the problems that were involved with masking the lens and things.
Integrating the live-action photography with the computer-generated images is the final process to complete this movie ride. This is accomplished using a process called electronic pin blocking. First, model moves are mapped with wireframe computer graphics. The model is then shot against a blue screen, a background that can easily be separated from the model. Finally, these pictures of the model are transferred to computer, giving the illusion that the spaceship is flying through the computer-generated scene.
Look out!
After a year of intense teamwork, Star Quest Adventure is ready for its debut. Landmark specially constructed this pavilion at the Korean World Expo in Daejeon for the 4.5-minute film. Now it will undergo its first test before a live audience. This spine-tingling, nerve-shattering spin through time and space has to be seen and felt to be believed.
Black hole! Full reverse thrusters!
Thrusters engaged. Initiating tractor main.
As movie ride technology continues to advance, several companies are working on the cutting edge of this exciting medium.
Thank you, Commander.
Welcome home, everyone!
ShowScan, one of the first to explore the possibilities of movie rides, used computers to create this hair-raising roller coaster ride through an abandoned mine shaft. The Days of Thunder movie ride was produced by iWorks Entertainment. Viewers experienced the explosive world of NASCAR racing with speeds up to 200 miles per hour. Thanks to brilliant special effects technicians with unlimited imaginations, you may soon find yourself part of your favorite action movie. Many Hollywood filmmakers see movie rides as the next frontier for motion pictures.
Had a wonderful experience with Steven Spielberg, and we were at Universal looking at the Back to the Future ride. He said to me, "Doug, I used to think you were completely out of your mind. And now that I look at this, I think you were right."
I think technology is going to be pushing even further forward in ride films. The use of 3D, the domes that can essentially cover your whole field of view.
A total environmental experience where maybe you smell, you feel, you interact.
So buckle your seatbelts. The curtain is about to go up on the latest blockbuster from Hollywood. You can bet special effects wizards will break the bounds of technology to create faster, wilder, and ever more believable movie magic.